currently in Denver, Colorado. It is 11 degrees Fahrenheit, not 11, 11. And it is morning time. Therefore, coffee has been procured. And if you haven't tried McDonald's coffee, let me recommend it because it is actually very good coffee. If you like good basic drip coffee, their coffee is fantastic. So, we've got an interesting show. Welcome into Record-ology, by the way. We've got an interesting show. This is sort of an omnibus episode. We've got a couple of things to talk about. They're going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Something I've never done before. I was kind of hesitant to do this show. In fact, I had forgotten that I had agreed to do it. So if you watched a recent the recent unboxing video, and I came across a product and I was like, whoa, I don't remember agreeing to do that. Well, it is the microphone. And what we are going to do today is a microphone shootout. So I spend a lot of time on conference calls and Zoom calls and Teams calls, and just, I work from home like many of us are these days, which I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do. And as such, I live on conference calls. So in fact, right now I just got off of one and I need to go home because I've got to jump on another one. So the microphone is an important thing. I don't want to wear a headset all day, and I want a decent microphone. So what we're going to do is a shootout between the new microphone and two other USB microphones I have, and you guys are going to get to judge and see which one you think is better. Then we've got a new Retekess radio to check out, which is really cool and unlike anything else they've ever had before. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Record-ology.
So we're going to start with this microphone right here. We're going to unbox it, review it, and then I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison, real-life sound test between this and the other two microphones. I don't want to give it a real-world test, and I'll show you what I mean. It's going to include fan noise, bad room acoustics, all that good stuff as well. So what attracted me to this is it's reminiscent of a lot of products that I have used back in my broadcast days, as well as my career as a design engineer for audio video control systems. Kind of another area of my career was designing conference room systems. So this looks like a professional type of conference table microphone. So I thought that would be very, very interesting for us to check out. Obviously, this is for consumer use, and it is USB-C, which is really interesting. Usually, the solutions that I would design and deploy with these types of conference table mics would be interfaced with a DSP on the back end, but this is a freestanding PC microphone. I like the fact that it looks like it has a mute, unmute switch, a volume control. I think this is actually like a full conference system where it's a speaker and mic. I'm not 100% sure about that. It is omnidirectional. So yeah, let's go ahead and open it up. It's got some heft to it too, so I'm hoping it's got metal construction. I'll be really interested to see how this compares to the other conference microphones, the other USB microphones, I should say, that we have reviewed in the past. So here is what we've got. This must be the microphone itself. It's pretty thin, pretty heavy. There is the manual, and this box is a little thinner, and I'm guessing that this is accessory. So let's start with that. Probably a USB-C cable. Ooh, cool. This is a nice one too. I like it. It's got a cloth braid to it. Oops. Cloth braid. Looks good. Yeah, that's really, really nice. So I guess it's plug and play. No battery, power supply, anything like that. Wrapped in plastic. Ooh, nice and heavy. About the diameter of a hockey puck. And thinner than that. We've got these rubber pads here that have this backing material, so we can peel this off. This is potentially something I could use every single day. I really love the metal construction. I think that's really good. So there's the USB jack, the bottom, the top. A very nice looking metal grill there. I like that. Looks like we've got a protective film on this surface as well. There we go. Pull that off. Very nice. Okay, that must be capacitive touch buttons right there, as well as our volume knob. So yeah, that's what makes me think it might be a speaker as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and hook this up to the computer, and we're going to give it a real world test and comparison against the competition. So in real life, I spend my time sitting right here in front of this computer all day because this is my job. I'm a home worker. I work from home person doing my day job outside of YouTube. And in so doing, I need a camera and a microphone. So the camera may look a little different, lower quality perhaps. That's because it is a webcam. This is an off-the-shelf Logitech high-definition 1080p webcam in relatively poor lighting. And for audio right now, you're hearing me through the built-in stereo microphone. Sorry, I'm so close to the camera there. But the microphone is a good 2.5 feet from me. And on top of it, I've got a fan blowing air on me because I like to have air blowing on me all day long. So this is sort of a baseline of what, you know, would be a typical setup for a lot of people. But can we improve the audio? So what I'm curious about is whether or not this guy that we... So what I'm curious about is if this will make a serious improvement. I am not 100% sure. I'm guessing those mics are pretty directional, so they might be canceling out some of that wind, whereas this is omnidirectional, meaning it picks up sound from all directions, so maybe it doesn't do that good of a job. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it does. But before that, I wanted to compare a couple other microphones and see if they improve. So remember what this sounds like. Refer back to it if you want. This is the baseline. Next microphone we are going to be utilizing for a test is this guy right here. This has been my daily driver, as I always say, microphone. So I've had this connected. This is a blue Snowball. It's like 25 bucks. This is the Snowball Ice. It's the cheapest of the cheap. It's got a shiny plastic instead of matte finish. That's the difference between the Ice and the regular Snowball. It comes in white and black. The difference between the Ice and the regular one is the other one has a microphone on the back and the front, so you can have a couple different options. This one is only from the front. Again, fairly dynamic, fairly directional, so I'm guessing that this will be canceling out some of that audio as well. So that's one we're going to test right now. What I don't like about this is it's huge. Size comparison wise to this new one, you can see this takes up a lot of desk space and it blocks the screen where I usually have it. But I think it's cool. It's got a cool retro look to it. I do like it. You know, I'm not interested in getting rid of it. But this has a lot smaller profile, and it might be, you know, a better option just on the daily. So let's go ahead and connect this next and see what it sounds like. Okay, so now we are on the blue Snowball microphone. This is my default mic that I have been using every day for the last several months. From what I understand, everybody tells me they can hear me okay. It sounds clear. By the way, this is with the fan off. So I'm going to flip the fan on. Again, just emulating what it's really like. I have to have this wind blowing my face all day long. But hopefully it's canceling some of that out. Hopefully when I switch that fan on, it didn't change the sound too much. Hopefully not. But yeah, there it is. Let me know what you think. I'm just talking so I myself can hear this afterwards, and we'll compare the different microphones. But let's take a look at what that Tonor microphone looks like. So it's weird. It's this Tonor brand. Where's the brand? Where's the thing? Tonor. Just strange. So kind of cool. It comes in this little shock mount. I guess I should show you. What's not so cool is this spit screen, which is redundant considering it's got the microphone windscreen on it as well. This is USB microphones are 16-bit, 41K sample rate, so it's the resolution of CD players, which is good. It can be lossless depending on how it's handled, but it isn't like a studio mic, right? It's not like a studio quality mic. It's for conferencing. It's for YouTube. It's for, you know, those sorts of things. So you wouldn't need I don't think you need a spit screen on there. Problem is, it's like attached to the shock mount, so you can't take it off. It doesn't unscrew, and it doesn't even stay positioned right. It just flops up. It's never right. It can't go out of the way, and it can't position to the right place. It's just, you know, anyway, it's just frustrating. It does come with this tripod as well. And from my experience, sound quality is good. It's just a bit quieter than the Snowball. So let's connect this now and give it the same test we gave the others. Okay, so we have the Tonor connected now. So how does it sound? I mean, is it clear? Is the volume a little lower? Perhaps the software, perhaps YouTube is increasing or decreasing levels. Let's flip that fan off again. So this is without the fan. The acoustics in this space are not good to begin with. So it's, this is a real world where the rubber meets the road kind of a test. This isn't an optimized, fluffy situation. Let's turn that fan back on. It's noisy. The bad acoustics are in here. I'm talking, so it can't be that good, right? So how does this thing sound? I'm going to tap the mic just to make sure we are on the right microphone there. So this has potential. I think it's decent. There's nothing really wrong with it. Just kind of annoying quirks. And anyway, those are my thoughts about this microphone. Finally, let's connect this guy and do the same test. Okay, so it is connected now. I shouldn't pick up a microphone that's live, but I just have to show you how cool this looks. Check that out. Blue lights and everything. That is cool. So, sorry for handling the live microphone. That's a no-no. I am about the same distance. I'd say about that far apart. However, this is further apart because it is so low profile. So where one mic may be up this high, it's down this low. So how do I sound? This is with the fan, the bad acoustics, all that stuff. There is a volume knob, which it says is a mic volume. So is this increasing? I would be curious. There's also a speaker mute or a mic mute. So, but there we go. That was mute, and now I am back. And we'll turn off the fan so you can hear it without the fan. It is omnidirectional, like I've said a couple of times, so it's probably picking up some of that audio. You guys will have to let me know. And this is set up to function as your speaker. You can only use it as your microphone if you want, but I am curious what the sound quality is, so I will check that out as well and let you know. But mostly I'm interested from a microphone standpoint. If I'm in a Zoom call, can you hear me? Is the fan too loud? Is it clear audio? How does it compare to the other ones? We'll have to see how that is, because I'm going to check that out and give you my final thoughts here in just a moment. But before we do my final thoughts, let's check out a cool new radio. Okay, that was fun. That was interesting. I love doing unique stuff like that. Hopefully you like that as well. Now for something completely different. We're going to be talking about a new Retekess radio, which is in this box right here. I'm going to put that off there for a second. But first, I wanted to talk again about two of my favorite Retekess radios that we've already reviewed. And I'm not going to go into detail really on these, but I wanted to point out a couple of things. If I had to pick one that was my absolute favorite, it's probably this. This is the V115. It's a shortwave radio, MP3 player, recording device, kind of everything in one. It's got a built-in speaker with remarkable bass. Actually, it's got a passive reflex bass. I guess you would call it a speaker on the back. It's rechargeable. It's got one of these rechargeable batteries that are easy to find and replace and easy to access, so you don't have to worry about, those devices that have rechargeable batteries you can't get to. This one, if and when that battery goes out, you have the ability to replace it. Telescoping antenna. I don't really use this as much as a shortwave radio as much as I do as an MP3 player, because I can load files on this TF card slot here just with a little SD card. I usually listen to movie audio at night, and this is a great way to do that. It has a USB connection, the headphone jack obviously, but a line-in connection is really, really cool because I can direct record audio into this device, which will go on that card. Now, why that's important is if I'm doing like a sample of a record player for a review or something like that, this is a quick and easy way to get digital audio doing that. The only downside is it's limited to 128K MP3. So it is a lossy audio recorder. It doesn't give you that lossless quality. But it's worth mentioning that is still a very highly recommended device. This is the PR11, which is, I would say a good close runner-up. It does have the SD card slot as well. It has that same, I assume it's the same, rechargeable battery or a similar one. I love the red color. It also has this interesting little thing here where you put this little key in and that functions as a little kickstand, which is cool. I think that's neat. And this is a cool little unit. It's got a red LED display, so it's a little bit better on the eyes at night. This has a nuclear white backlit display. This one is red. It's simplistic. I don't think it shows text from files. Again, I don't want to turn these on and start doing a full review, but I just wanted to kind of give you an overview. Also, this one has the USB connectivity, which is neat. And if you see this little light here, that's a multi-function light. It does a couple of different things, but one thing it does is it's an LED flashlight, which is kind of cool. And I have used this in the middle of the night as a flashlight. So kind of a cool, not kind of, it is a cool little unit. So I just wanted to remind you of two of my favorite Retekess players before we both learn about this one together. So again, everything we've reviewed from them so far has been stellar. There's been some that I scratch my head a little bit in terms of why would I need this? Like the headphone FM radio headset. I don't think I've used it since the review. Maybe in the 80s I would have. That was a bigger thing. My dad loved those radio headsets. But a lot of these things are very practical. I really wish, Retekess, if you happen to be watching this by any strange coincidence, I would recommend that you guys get into the internet radio world. I think that that would be very cool. So today we're taking a look at the TR602 dual channel portable speaker user manual. Does that mean it's stereo? It just looked cool. So I thought, you know what, this is one that we ought to take a look at. So there is the manual. It comes with probably a micro. No, this is an old school USB connector. Well, that's interesting. We got, okay, what's going on here? 3 ends on one cable. So what will this do? Okay, on this side we've got the headphone jack and the USB, and on this side just USB. So that's interesting. And there's the battery. I love rechargeable batteries. I know a lot of people don't. They'd rather have AA's, but for me, I like the rechargeable battery. This is cool. I just thought it was cool because it has the 2 speakers. I'm hoping and assuming that it's stereo. The form factor to me is cool. Very sleek. Feels like metal grills. We got an SD card slot. On the back here is where our battery is going to go. So let's go ahead and load that in. Just as simple as that. And tour around here. We got a USB 5 volt. Also, that's a power supply USB connection. And then over here, you can put an actual thumb drive in there. Headphone jack, volume control. Really cool. Let's go ahead and power it up. So Bluetooth device is ready to pair. So it's a Bluetooth speaker. And yeah, this is cool. Does it have that key thing where we can kickstand? I don't see a kickstand. So without a kickstand, it does stand up on its end like that. It would be kind of cool if there was a way to have it kind of set like that. As you can see, it's defaulting into this Bluetooth mode. Look at this. So I guess you can answer phone calls or hang up. So let's see your hang up button for when you're connected via Bluetooth. Let's check out the different modes. Mode. So it goes into radio mode. Let's scan. Press and hold maybe. Okay, so it's scanning all of the stations. Okay, it only took a couple of minutes to perform the radio scan. While it was scanning, I was looking at some of the specifications. It's kind of interesting. These speakers are actually 3-watt speakers, which may not sound like a lot, but typically in a device like this, you're going to have a 0.5 watt or a 1 watt speaker. So to have 3-watt speakers in a portable device is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty dang good. One thing that was a little bit of a shocker to me is the Bluetooth version they're using was 2.1. So that is a quite old Bluetooth codec. So the sound quality may not be as high as a more modern Bluetooth codec, but on something like this, it's just not going to be that big of a deal. This has all sorts of features. It's got a timer. You can obviously, make calls and receive calls, volume control, play MP3s, all kinds of cool stuff. But how is the sound quality? Let's go ahead and switch to the front microphones, and we'll just do an ambient audio test and see how good it sounds. Not too bad. It's got some bass. By the way, this sort of strobing or flashing effect is not happening to the eye. That's only on camera. So we can forward skip with these transport controls through the different presets.
It's a one-sided agreement. All of the promises are yes and...
Weary traveler.
Wow, it's got some resonant bass to it. Like you can feel it kind of resonating with bass frequencies.
Mentally so much better.
Very cool.
He's our radio commander. He tells us.
Hopefully that is coming through a little bit, but the bass is not half
Director.
bad.
He's not a commander.
So let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, so that's a timer, like a sleep timer, and I presume if I press and hold, yeah, I can change the value to 90 minutes, and it sort of toggles through 60 minutes. And for the lock button, all you do is click it once, and it flashes, telling us that it is now locked, and nothing except for another click of the lock button will unlock it. So yeah, that's cool. Amazing sound quality for a little device here. So this is, so far I'm thinking use case wise on something like this is it would be really good as, you know, if you're just like working in the garage or, you know, having something at your desk that's portable. You could take this to work because it would slip into your pocket or backpack quite easily and give you reasonable sound quality. And if you needed to not, you know, interrupt others, you can have your headphone jack. You can do the SD card like we're about to do. You can do the same thing with the USB stick as well. You can power it off of the DC or the USB jack right there. Analog volume control. This is really nice. I think it comes in a couple different colors too, I think. Don't hold me to that. TF, so that's the SD card. This is movie audio. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. It's so fun. These are just MP3s, so you can hear the compression. Actually, these were, for the most part, recorded digitally on with this device, so you can hear some of the artifacting. In terms of doing the record player reviews, I really need to go to doing the line input or the direct feed audio on a computer, because I can just record with Audacity and a cable. I've got both an analog input card as well as that clear click USB audio cable that allows you to plug an analog jack in. I really need to do that. It's just so incredibly handy to have a portable device like this. Sadly enough, if you remember my fancy little microphone there, my Zoom H2N microphone, it's got a line input, but you cannot record line level into that thing. It distorts like crazy. Turns out what's marked as a line input is actually a mic input, but that's a separate gripe for a separate day. Oh, Star Trek ambient audio. Got a couple different ones. Some stuff I recorded.
It had to be you. It had.
Guess what movie this is from?
And finally found somebody who
Oh, it's so cool.
could make
That's just fun. Now, that's just me. I mean, I have, you know, this weird interest in movie audio and stuff. But obviously, you can load this up with music. You know, you can pack a lot of music onto these little SD cards. But yeah, this thing is cool. I mean, it's got a lot of features. Okay, so just for the heck of it, just for giggles, let's go ahead and try to transmit something Bluetooth to this. And just to be different and nerdy, I'm going to use a Bluetooth transmitting CD player, which is going to get a little bit more love on my channel than on Tech Moan's channel. I think that that's an amazing, amazing development. So we've got a CD in there, but I want to transmit Bluetooth. So I'm going to go into Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth is on. We're going to put it in, oops, I always do this wrong. Okay, down, search.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Okay, so that is in pairing mode.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay, cool. So it is connected. All right. Let's skip forward a little bit here. In case you're wondering, this is the new Glenn Miller Orchestra under the direction of Nick Hilscher. And yeah, it's really cool. This CD they put out in 2014, I think it is. It's a live performance. Cool. I mean, it works as expected. I wish it had AM radio. Also curious if these are truly stereo speakers. That would be an interesting thing to test as well. Back on the front mics here, you can obviously skip through with either the device itself or with this unit. And I have confirmed this is indeed stereo, which is nice. So maybe you can get a little stereo test right now.
Baby, what's wrong with you?
Awesome. Once again, these guys do a good job. So yeah, this guy I would recommend as well. This is the TR602. I'll put a link in the description below. And I'll include the links to this stuff too, just for grins in case anybody wants to grab one of those. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. So yeah, neat stuff, and you never know what we're going to do here on Record-ology. We cover the whole gamut, from radio to CD, tape, obviously vinyl as well, even microphones. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video very, very much. Okay, so final thoughts on the microphone specifically. I still think that the Snowball Ice sounds the best among all of them. Although the Digital Life was cool, the sound was adequate. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible. It was better than the web mic, but it didn't really have the warmth that I would like it to have. Also being omnidirectional, it was picking up everything, but it's still cool. Link down and below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a fun, crazy show, just all over the place, doing all kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.